Hello dear chess friends, my name is Nikolai Yordanov. I'm a chess FIDE master and professional chess coach for beginners and intermediate players. Today we're going to discuss one very important topic, basic pawn endgames and especially the rule of the square. Let's start with the first example, very simple example, where with white. What is the best move here for white? How we can win in that game? We can play a3 or a4. The best move here in that position is a4. Why a4? Because when you play a4, the opponent's king must be in that square. If the opponent's king is in the square, he can catch the pawn. If it's outside of the square, he cannot catch the pawn and we can promote the queen. Let's move to the next example. The next example, where with white, our plan is to promote the a pawn. Usually, every beginner player, they play a4 without any thinking, and they didn't realize that after king e4, a5, king d5, and the opponent's king is in the square, and in the next few moves we will lose our pawn. But in that position, the best move here is d5. We want to play d6 and to create a passed pawn. Only move for black is e takes d5. After a4, king e4, a5, and the pawn on d5 is an obstacle for the opponent and he cannot play king d5. Let's move to the next example. The next example, very interesting example, where with white, how we can win that position. We have a very simple plan here. The idea is to create a passed pawn on the a file and to promote the queen. Usually when you play pawn end games, if you want to promote a queen, when you have a pawn majority on one of the sides, first we push the pawns which we want to promote. So first we play a3, b3, then a4. If you play b3, that move is a bad move. After b4, we can see that one pawn stops two pawns and we cannot promote a queen. What will happen if we play our logical move a3? If you play a3, king g5, b3, king f6, a4, b takes a4, b takes a4, king e7, a5, king d8, a6, king c8, a7, king b7, and we lose our passed pawn. That's why in that position we don't play a3, because the opponent's king can go on that way. The best move here is g6. We want to take on f7 or to take on h7 and to promote the queen. After f takes on g6, for example, we play f6, g takes f6, and now it's not possible opponent's king to do that maneuver. The route is closed. Then we play a3, king g5, b3, king f5, a4, b takes a4, b takes a4, king e5, and now many beginner players will play a5. That move is a mistake. After king d5, a6, king c6, a7, king b7, and we lose our passed pawn. After king e5, the best move for white is d6. After c takes d6, c6, d takes e6, a5, and it's not possible our opponent to go in that square. So we can see one beautiful example. We sacrifice all of our pawns with the idea to create a pass pawn. And if you have that question, can we win that game when we promote a queen, one queen against 5 pawns? It's easy to win that game, don't worry. Let's move to the next example. The next example, we're with white, how we can win that position. Also, you can stop the video and try to solve the puzzle by yourself. We cannot push our pawn forward because king b7 and we lose our pawn. So the best move here, very tricky move, we play king h3. And now, after king d7, king d6, king d5, king c5 or king b5, we will play a7 and we will promote queen. So the only move for black is g4, we take the pawn, h3, we take the other pawn, and after king somewhere, we play a7 and have a winning position. Let's move to the next example. What will happen if we have two passed pawns? We can see that opponent's king is in that square, but the other pawn also create a square, and that position is winning position for black, because when we play e3, we have to play when you play e3, then e2, then h3, h2, opponent's king cannot stop these two pawns. If king f2, h3, if king g3, e3, and now is in the square of this pawn on e3, but when you play h2 or e2, so king f3, h2, he catch this pawn on h2, but after e2, we cannot catch the pawn on e2, and we promote the queen. What will happen if we move our pawns not on h4 and on e4, move our pawns on h5 and e5? We play king f3, h4, king g4, e4, we take the pawn on h4, and we are still in the square of the other pawn. And now in that position, white will win the game. Let's see the next example which I prepared for you. White to play. How we can win in that position. You can stop the video and try to solve the example by yourself. The best move here for white is f6. We sacrifice the pawn on f6. E takes f6. Then we play h6. We want to promote a queen. And the only move for black is king f7 or king f8. Now the opponent's king is in the square. But after e3, regarding to our last two examples, our opponent cannot stop these pawns. One of these pawns will promote a queen. And the last example which I prepared for you, black to play. Very interesting position also. We play f4. After g takes f4, a brilliant move for black is king d6. We are in the square of that pawn. Also, we are in the square of that pawn on f4. So the pawns are far away from the 8 file, so we can stop these two pawns, and our counter attack in the next moves we will play g3, g2, and then e3, e2, and we have a winning position. I hope that you like these examples. I wish you a good day. Bye bye.